Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Full Dragon Ball Super superhero spoiler summary for the entire movie. I want to first of all thank Chronicles, Hype, and Goresh for all the information they got. And I want to thank all of you for, of course, being around for all of this stuff and talking to me on stream and on videos. And we now have the full plot right here of the movie, the full synopsis. If you do not want to be spoiled, get off the video now, because we're going to go into start to finish. I'm going to go through the whole movie. Like I said, I thanked Goresh and Hype and Chronicles, and of course I also want to thank people that I spoke to as well, and of course all of you for your support, because as a community, I think everyone should probably go see this movie, because after hearing what happens, I'm pretty hyped. I was skeptical at first, and the more and more and more we hear about the visuals and how it actually turned out, the better. It definitely did not turn out to be this badly animated, choppy film. So, at least not from what I heard. So let's go ahead. We're going to get to it right now. So the movie starts with a flashback 6 months prior to the main time of the movie, and the flashback involves Magenta and Carmine from the Red Ribbon Army recruiting Dr. Hito. Magenta is the son of Commander Red. Commander Red is the leader of the Red Ribbon Army, the one that was in Dragon Ball, the one that wanted to wish to be taller, the short guy. He is the leader, and we find out that Dr. Hito is the grandson of Dr. Gero, aka Dr. Gero, and that Gero's wife is Vomi, who is the human version of Android 21. So this is not Android 21, it's the human version of that character. Obviously, it was done as an Easter egg for all the Dragon Ball FighterZ fans to say, hey, we know her. It's just a fun little Easter egg. And they had a son named Gebo, and that's the son that was modeled after 16. We had heard about that, I did a whole video on it. That 16 was modeled after him. Android 16 was modeled after Gero's son. Now we know what he looks like. So anyways, we find out that there's a big connection between them. And so Carmine and Magenta recruit Hito and convince him that the Capsule Corp is evil and in cahoots with the aliens, aka the Saiyans, and that the Red Ribbon Army, Red Pharmaceuticals, is trying to save the world. So they basically lie to Dr. Hito and manipulate him into thinking that the Capsule Corp are the bad guys and that the Red Ribbon are the good guys. So they come to the conclusion that the technology that the Capsule Corp has had for all these years is alien technology because of the Saiyans and whatnot, which is actually not entirely true. Dr. Brief discovered a lot of this stuff himself, and he only learned more when he found out about the Saiyans. But prior to that, they were already the biggest corporation in the world, and they paint the Capsule Corp as being bad. Hito then joins them when we go to present day with Piccolo training Pan on how to use Ki, and she wants to learn how to fly. Pan says that she's never seen Gohan fight, and asks if it's true that at one time Gohan surpassed Goku, and Piccolo says that he did at one time do that. So that was the controversial thing I was talking about, in the past. Pan, we've seen Pan fly in Dragon Ball Super, but in this movie, she does not know how to fly. So either Pan flying in Dragon Ball Super was something that Toei Animation made up for the anime, which I'm pretty sure that's the case, and Toriyama never even bothered to see it, or she forgot how to fly. Either way, there's a major plot point here where Pan is still trying to learn how to fly. So she goes to kindergarten. Some time passes, and this is where we see that scene of Piccolo picking up Pan from kindergarten because Videl's teaching martial arts and Gohan is studying insects. Piccolo agrees to go do it, but he first goes to visit Gohan and tells him he's been slacking on his training and that he needs to take it seriously. Piccolo gives Gohan his cape and purple outfit, but like we talked about, Gohan's busy studying insects. So later on, Piccolo's meditating at his house, and Gamma 2 attacks him. Gamma 2 refers to him as Piccolo Daimao, aka Demon King Piccolo, but Piccolo just apologizes and says, no, I'm just Piccolo. So Piccolo recognizes that Gamma 2 has no energy and the Red Ribbon logo, so he surmises that Gamma 2 is an android. Gamma 2 was ordered to kill Piccolo, and Gamma 2 does defeat him, but does not finish him off. But he thinks he finished him off. So Gamma 2's more of a clown. Gamma 1 is way more serious. Gamma 2 is more lighthearted. Piccolo escapes and Gamma thinks that he was vaporized. So Piccolo finds the Red Ribbon Army base by following Gamma 2. He steals the clothes from one of the soldiers and sneaks inside. We find out that the base has 2 sections to it, which I talked about in the stream that I did. I thought there were 2 separate bases, but that's not the case. There's 2 sections to it where, because I talked about how it could be either 2 bases or 2 different sections, but here's the way it was described. The base is camouflaged so you can't see it from the outside world with the naked eye. It's sort of like Wakanda. But when you go inside, that's when you see the actual base. So Piccolo sees Magenta, Carmine, and Hito discussing their master plan, and he overhears them talking about something called Cell Max, which is their secret weapon. Hito wants to focus on Gamma 1 and 2 and even says he can make unlimited copies of them if he wants to, due to his technology, but Magenta tries to get him to focus on Cell Max. Hito says Cell Max is not ready, because he's not ready. His brain has not been finished yet. Magenta's obsessed with Cell Max being complete, and Hito's like, okay, well, I thought we were superheroes. Because from Hito's perspective, the Capsule Corp are the villains. Cell Max is like the ultimate final solution to all this. But Magenta has ulterior motives. He wants to use Cell Max to rule the world. So Piccolo freaks out by actually looking at the monstrosity that is Cell Max. He calls Bulma to talk to Bulma, to call Whis to get Goku and Vegeta to come to Earth. But she cannot get a hold of him because his staff is covered with ice cream, so he never gets the message. And that's why Goku and Vegeta are only on Beerus's planet throughout this entire movie. I talked about this in one of my streams. You could cut their scenes out of this movie and it would not hurt the plot at all because they're not even a part of this movie as far as actually affecting what happens on Earth. So we cut to Beerus's planet where Goku's training Broly to control his out-of-control power. Vegeta's meditating, influenced by Jiren to sharpen his mind so to think clearly while fighting. They show a flashback to Jiren and discuss that the gap in power between them and Jiren wasn't even as large as they had originally thought, and that he had an advantage because he was able to think clearly and not make mistakes. Whis says that Vegeta is right, and Goku should learn from this. Beerus wakes up after a 4-month nap and asks why Broly is there. Lemmo appears offering food. Beerus has an infatuation with Chi-Lai and calls her cute. They all have like a big feast. Afterward, Whis asks Goku and Vegeta to spar without transforming or using ki techniques. Goku asks Broly to stay out of it because he has trouble controlling his anger. So Goku and Vegeta spar. Beerus comments about Vegeta's movements being different than normal, which seems to be a hint that he's improving as a fighter. So that's the last we see of them until way later in the movie. That's all they have. I mentioned in the past they only have 2 scenes. They only have 2 scenes, yo. We cut back to Earth. Piccolo goes to Karin Tower and gets 2 Senzus from Karin and Yajirobe, and then goes up further to the Sacred Holy Realm, or the Dende's Lookout. And he asks him to unlock his latent potential the same way the Grand Elder did to Gohan and to Krillin on Namek. This is implied to be a deity technique, but Dende can't do it because you have to be older and more experienced, but he suggests wishing for it with the dragon. Dende updates Shenron by pulling out the stone dragon that we see them use in Dragon Ball and Z to make a dragon, then just pours water on it and he's upgraded. That's it. I'm guessing this was some kind of like holy water or something, but the dragon gets upgraded to be able to grant more powerful wishes. Dende tells Piccolo that Bulma already has all the Dragon Balls, so he wants to go and borrow a wish, So they summon the dragon. He asks the dragon to unlock his potential, which he does, but the dragon says he gave him something extra as well. That's a foreshadow for something much later in the movie. Bulma wishes for a bigger butt and longer eyelashes, so those are the 3 wishes, and Piccolo's distraught. Bulma would use wishes on that. This is, of course, played up for comedy. The important thing is to remember that he got an upgrade from the dragon, and the dragon said, I gave you something extra, and we find that out later on. Piccolo goes back to the Red Ribbon base in disguise again and discovers that their next target is Gohan and that they want to capture his daughter to lure him out. Piccolo thinks this is a great idea to get Gohan to get refocused on his fighting and back into fighting shape, so he volunteers to kidnap Pan. This is all just done to get Gohan to take fighting seriously and to awaken his ultimate form once more. So he goes to pick up Pan from school again, but he goes with another Red Ribbon Army employee, which Pan knocks out, apparently with one hit, but recognizes Piccolo, and Piccolo tells her to play along. So they fly back to Red Ribbon headquarters in a flying ship, and Pan has to pretend to be weaker than she actually is. So Carmine's recording a video of her being held hostage to get Gohan out to go save her, but she's just playing along. They take the footage to Gohan on his cell to get him to, cell phone, not cell the character, on his cell phone, to get him to come rescue her. So Gohan gets pissed, and from now on, the rest of the movie takes place at the Red Ribbon headquarters. Gohan shows up and begins fighting Gamma 1. Gamma 1 is stronger than base Gohan. Gamma 1 reveals he is a superhero in order to eliminate evil. Gohan transforms into Super Saiyan and they fight evenly, but Piccolo notices that Gamma 1 is learning Gohan's movements as they fight and getting stronger. So Gamma 1 begins to outdo Gohan and defeats him. So Piccolo tells Pan to scream for hell, or for help, not hell, to scream for help and to scream for her dad. She's faking it, but she does it anyways. This allows Gohan to transform into Ultimate Gohan and really get a surge in power. So he's in Ultimate form, and at this point, he easily beats Gamma 1. So Gamma 2 gets sent in, but now it's 2 against 1. So Piccolo decides, I better get involved. Powers up to his new unlocked form, the Yellow Piccolo. So it's Piccolo and Gohan versus Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and Gamma 1 and 2 are actually able to catch up to their power relatively quickly, and Piccolo starts to get smashed even in his new form. So the technology that Dr. Hito has, like I mentioned in the streams, is far and away beyond anything the Red Ribbon Army had in the past, including even the androids from Z. These Gammas are like a new level of like technological terror, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys are serious. So what ends up happening is basically Piccolo remembers what Shenron said about giving him something extra. So then he powers up with this big orange glow and he becomes Orange Piccolo. Basically he glows orange but has a black outline around his eye. This is, I guess you can call it beyond Ultimate Piccolo, but Piccolo does give it a name here in just a minute. I'll get to it in just a moment. So he's also a little bit taller in this form. So Gamma 2 tries to attack him again, but it has no effect. Piccolo just looks at the shots like nothing, doesn't even hurt him. So Piccolo one-shots Gamma 2, literally wins with one punch. Gamma 2 is out. So Krillin, 18, Trunks, Goten, and Bulma arrive at the Red Ribbon headquarters. Piccolo says he hasn't seen Goten and Trunks in a long time. Gohan reminds Piccolo that Saiyans take longer to grow, but suddenly can get a big growth spurt, which is true of Goku in the original Dragon Ball, and that is something that's talked about, how the Saiyans grow differently than regular humans do. Of course, Goten and Trunks are Saiyan-human hybrids, so that might change things a bit, but that's how they try to explain that as to why it took so long for them to grow up. Gohan asks what to call the form that Piccolo has. He says he doesn't really have a name for it, but Orange Piccolo is fine. That's Toriyama humor right there, yo. Orange Piccolo. So that's what it's called, folks. Hey, people talked about how Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan was silly. Toriyama always makes up silly names for this kind of stuff. You know, it's his humor. That's how he does things. Piccolo gives Gohan a Senzu. Gohan does not have his glasses on, so he can't catch the bean, and he loses it, which is basically a throwback to what happened in the Buu saga with the Potara, so now they only have one Senzu bean left. So Magenta thinks that now it's time to activate Cell Max, but Dr. Hito's trying to stop him because Cell Max is not ready yet. So Magenta uses that cyborg armor that we saw and shoots Dr. Hito, trying to kill him. But Hito reveals he's wearing a bulletproof outfit, so he sends Hachimaru, which is the insect robot, to inject poison into Magenta, which he does do, but right before Magenta dies, he activates Cell Max. So Cell Max comes alive. He's big. He has a giant spiked club for a tail with glowing red eyes and like red and green kind of look to him. He does not speak, but he growls like a Frankenstein monster because he's unfinished. So Norio Wakamoto does reprise his role as Cell, but all he does is just scream here, and you know what I mean? He's a mutant. He's a big mutant Frankenstein monster. Sort of like Bio Broly. I mean, there's actually a lot of Bio Broly ideas in this movie. So Dr. Hito freaks out, even though the movie seems a lot better than Bio Broly. Dr. Hito freaks out, Cell Max goes on a tantrum, there's a huge explosion that destroys pretty much the entire base. Pan's about to get caught in the explosion, but in the last minute, she's able to fly to safety. So she finally learns how to fly, and, happy times. You know how to fly again. That's, it's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Gamma 1 and 2 are upset that Cell Max is activated, but they reveal that Hito created a weakness in Cell Max at the top of his forehead. He has a small gray patch, and if you can smash that, his body will explode and all cells will be eradicated. This was a failsafe that Dr. Hito created. So everyone attacks Cell Max, including Gamma 1 and 2. So everyone teams up on him. This is what I was talking about when I said that the final battle in this movie is much more like a battle royale than Gogeta versus Broly. It's not one-on-one. It's everyone attacking Cell Max. Goten and Trunks try to fuse but fail, and they create the Fat Gotenks because they are out of practice. So everyone starts to use Fat Gotenks like a volleyball to smash Cell Max, but it doesn't work. Piccolo tries a full power blast at Cell Max's head, but it doesn't do any damage, so Cell Max powers up and a bunch of purple energy beams explode and destroy the entire area. You've seen some of this in the trailers. So Gamma 2 decides to be a hero and risk his life to beat Cell Max. He flies up to the atmosphere of the Earth, all the way near space, at full power, full speed, lunges down from the atmosphere into Cell Max and cuts off his arm, but he gets swatted away. He is out. So at this point, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. Cell Max goes to finish off Gamma 2 by stepping on him. Orange Piccolo saves him. Krillin goes to help out too. So Orange Piccolo's like holding his boot up, and Krillin reminds Piccolo he can become big. So Piccolo says he forgot he can do that, and he does it, and we see giant Orange Piccolo versus Cell Max. So Piccolo does indeed turn giant again, a technique he has not done in a very, very long time. Piccolo is fighting Cell Max, but he gets overpowered. So Gohan goes to Piccolo and asks if Piccolo can actually win, but Piccolo says that becoming big does not increase your actual power. So Piccolo takes out, like, he's bigger, but he's not stronger, like, power-wise. Takes out the last Senzu Bean, which is like a tiny little, like, pebble on his finger, right? Because he's giant. Gohan takes the Senzu Bean and he eats it. Piccolo tells Gohan he's the last hope. Piccolo says the exact same lines, word for word, that Goku said to Gohan in Dragon Ball Z during the Perfect Cell Beam struggle, the one at the end where Gohan finally beats Cell, where Piccolo's basically inspiring Gohan, telling him that, you're not using your full power, you're better than this, the same speech that was told to Gohan in the Cell Saga. Of course, the dub changed it, but if you watch the sub, you know what I'm talking about. So Gohan powers up while everyone's getting destroyed. So 18, Krillin, Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo, they're just like, they can't do anything. And there's a scene where Piccolo is seemingly killed by Cell Max with a giant blast. Piccolo drops down, lifeless, on Cell Max's hand. So Cell Max is holding up Piccolo, sort of like how Goku held up Nappa and later Burter when he did the Kaioken on him. So then we have a very, very similar, complete tribute to Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 in the Cell games. Remember that scene? This is a complete tribute. We have the red line going through his head. The background goes red. Huge explosion. The camera pans up, like, slowly. And now Gohan has unleashed his beyond ultimate form, which is now a new form never before seen. He's now known as Final Gohan. This new form has like a purple energy with like whitish, grayish hair, but taller. His eyes, like his hair's like spiked up taller. His eyes are red. It's a brand new transformation. Yes, folks, Gohan Blanco it's real. At least it's a new Gohan Blanco, but it's Gohan Blanco. This was said to be one of the greatest scenes in Dragon Ball cinema history, and the animation is said to be amazing. So there's no explanation about where this power came from, so it could be an ass pull, or it could be explained by something that was inside of Gohan the whole time, mixing his like ultimate form with his rage. There's no actual explanation in the film, so I hope that we'll get interviews. I hope we'll get interviews that explain more about this, because I'm very curious about this form. So Cell Max punches Gohan in the chest as hard as he can, and Gohan doesn't flinch. Just like in DBZ, this is Cell Saga Gohan back for the first time in a long time. He just looks at Cell Max and he says, "Is that all you got?" and just pushes him back. Cell Max creates a gigantic energy ball, which is like it's sort of like the Revenge Death Ball, where it's black but green around the outside, right? So the power, he's summoning so much energy that Cell's entire body begins to like fall apart because of how much energy he is gathering. It's very over the top. So Piccolo appears and because he's not dead, he's actually alive, and he holds down Cell Max with his stretchy arms in his orange Piccolo form. While that happens, Gohan powers up a Makanko Sapol, the special beam cannon, folks. That move, the Piccolo move. We've never actually seen Gohan do it in the anime. He does it, folks, and he fires the blast. It pierces through Cell's head, destroying Cell Max and putting an end to this terror. So they confirm that Gamma 2 is dead. Dr. Hito wants to turn himself into the cops because Krillin's a cop, but Gamma 1, with Gamma 1, but Piccolo says they were just being manipulated and should be forgiven. Bulma gives Gamma 1 and Hito a job at Capsule Corp. Piccolo says that's better than wishing for it. So, than wishing, because basically, Dr. Hito says he can help her look younger, and then Piccolo's like, yeah, that's better than freaking wasting a wish. So Pan shows off to everyone she can fly. Then there's a post-credit scene where Goku and Vegeta are worn out from fighting, but Vegeta lands one last weak little punch on Goku, knocking him down. Vegeta wins this sparring session, but they will be rivals forevermore. And that is the end, the full story of Dragon Ball Super Hero. There's a lot to digest here, a lot to talk about. I have not seen the film myself. It's getting a lot of praise right now from folks who saw the midnight screening over in Japan, and we're gonna see a lot more clips and stuff like that coming out very soon, and the movie will be out in North America August 19th. I wish it was sooner. I really do. It's unfortunate we have to wait this long, but I'm very curious as far as seeing this. So what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Have a great day, and I will be back real soon. I might even stream about all this tomorrow, so keep an eye on notifications for that and on the channel. Thank you. We'll talk soon.